Hello everybody, I am so excited about this crochet along video. I came across this pattern for the chunky neck warmer. It's beginner friendly and I found it on patternprincess.com. The owner or designer of this pattern, Vicky, was so nice to give me permission to show you guys how to do this neck warmer. You can get the free pattern on a website. I posted the link in the video description below. You can also purchase an ad-free version of the pattern, and Vicky was so nice to give us a discount, a limited time discount, if you follow the link that is also in the video description. Thank you, Vicky, that's awesome. Make sure you check out her website. There are more free crochet patterns, there's DIY crafts ideas, recipes and so much more. So what are we waiting for? Let's see what you will need. You will need super bulky yarn, about 140 yards, or in metric terms 130 meters. I'm using Elle Unspun. It's an acrylic yarn, but it feels amazing. It's super soft and easy to work with. The color that I'm using is ivory, and if you see on the information leaflet, this is a 200 grams and it has approximately 212 yards or 194 meters. You will need a crochet hook in a size I in US terms, or in metric terms a 5.5 millimeters. You will need scissors, buttons to decorate your neck warmer, a yarn needle to work in the loose ends at the end, and of course thread and a sewing needle to attach the buttons to your neck warmer. Although the hook size recommendation for this yarn is 8 millimeters, using a 5.5 millimeters will mean that your stitches will be more dense together. The abbreviations noted in this pattern are the following: CH for chain stitch, DC for double crochet, BLDC for back loop double crochet, FLDC for front loop double crochet. I will show you in the video how to do the back loop and front loop double crochet, but I will also post videos about these back and front loop double crochets separately. And then ST referring to any stitch. To begin, we are going to make a foundation chain of 90 chain stitches. Just remember to keep your grip relaxed so that your tension won't be too tight. Row 1 says, in the fourth chain from your hook, double crochet and in each stitch across. So you will start with a double crochet in the fourth chain from your hook. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you will continue to do double crochets up until the end. So yarn over for a double crochet, and in your 1, 2, 3, 4th, you will make a double crochet, and in this pattern the skipped stitches will count as a double crochet. I'll explain later how we will work when we get back from the second row. So let's continue to do double crochet stitches up to the end. Make sure your chains don't twist, otherwise you will struggle to see where to work. As you can see on the back side, it doesn't look like chains at all. Now for row 2, it says chain 3, which will count as a double crochet, back loop double crochet in the first stitch from the hook and in each stitch across. This means, so we turned our work and we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And these 3 chain stitches will count as a double crochet for this first stitch from your previous row. As you will see, here's 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this chain 3 that counts as a double crochet will count for this stitch. So we will continue in the next stitch from your previous row. Now for the back loop double crochet, if you look at the top of the stitches of your previous row, you will see they will have a chain-like look, or even like a V shape. Now if you keep your work upright, the loop that is the closest to you, if we take, let's say, this one, the loop that is the closest to you will count as the front loop. And the loop that is the furthest from you will count as the back loop. So the same with this one. The closest to you is the front loop, and the furthest one will be the back loop. So we will yarn over for a double crochet. You will insert your hook into the back loop only. Not like a normal double crochet where you will insert underneath both loops, like that. You will insert it only underneath the back loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Let's do another one. And you will see the front loops that you don't pick up, they stand out and they add more detail to your work. Now let's continue to the end. Now for the last stitch, you will use the chain 3 from the previous row. You will take the top chain, there you can see it, and you will use that back loop for your back loop double crochet. So you will insert in the back loop and make a double crochet. There's row 2, and now you can see a nice line of the front loops that you didn't pick up. Now onto row 3. It says chain 3, which will count as a double crochet, front loop double crochet in the first stitch from the hook and in each stitch across. So again we will start with the chain 3, which will count as a double crochet for this first stitch from your previous row. So our next double crochets we will work from here. Now for row 3 it is the front loop double crochet. Just a reminder, if you look from the top, the loop the closest to you will be the front loop, and the loop the furthest from you will be the back loop. So for the front loop double crochet, we will work underneath the front loop only, and not underneath both loops like a normal double crochet. So we will yarn over, and we will work in this stitch. So only underneath the front loop, yarn over and pull it through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So for the next stitch, just underneath the front loop. So we are going to continue this way until the end of the row. And remember, for your last stitch, we will use the chain 3 from the previous row. And if you look from the top, there's the top stitch, the top chain, and we will use the front loop of that chain to make the front loop double crochet. Yarn over. For row 4 to row 10, you will repeat row 2 and row 3 alternatively. So for row 4, you will work like you did for row 2, a back loop double crochet. Row 5 will be like row 3 with a front loop double crochet. Row 6, back loop double crochet. Row 7, front loop double crochet. And you will continue like this until you reach row 10, which you will work back loop double crochet. At the end of row 10, we will fasten off your work. We will leave a long piece of yarn to sew the ends together. So we will just cut off. And to fasten off, you will just yarn over and pull the entire yarn tail through the loop. And just pull it tightly. And there you go. When you are finished on the one side, you will see nice detail for the back loop double crochets where you didn't pick up the front loop. You will see nice ridges that it formed. Whereas on the other side, it will be just plain. So this plain side we will use as the inside, and the side with the detail we will use as the outside. Before we sew the ends together, we will work in this loose piece of yarn and attach the buttons. You can choose which side you want your buttons to be. Do you want to sew your ends together this way or like this? You can decide the size of the buttons or the color or whatever you want to add on your neck warmer. I will use wooden buttons. We will work the loose end in just so you won't see it. I will work it on the inside. So I just take my yarn needle and just weave in the loose end. Just take it through a couple of loops to just make sure it's nice and hidden. Because it's a short piece of yarn, I'm not going to take it too far. Then I'm just going to go over this stitch and just on my way back to make sure that it stays in place. I don't pull it too tightly. There you go. To attach the buttons, you're going to use a thread needle and some thread. And you're just going to work it from the underside I'm just making double knots to keep it in place, not doing anything fancy. And I'm just gonna work the thread through a couple of times just to keep it secure. And again, I'm just going to end with a couple of knots. And cut off the thread. Now for the remaining buttons. Now to sew together the two parts, the bottom part and the top part. We actually want to start from this corner of the top part and work right through until the corner of the bottom part. My yarn is actually in the middle now, So I'm just going to cut it shorter and weave in the end, and then I'm going to attach my yarn to this corner and work right through. Just make sure your corners line up, and then I'll attach my yarn. When you attach the two parts, just make sure that you keep it in line so that you don't work with the top part pulling down and it won't align at the end. So continuously make sure that it's lined correctly. Then you will just go through both parts, the top part and the bottom part, and you will just work like this all the way through. I also don't pull too tightly, just to try that it don't make lumps and bumps, and pull it together inwards. To end off, I just go through again, but I don't pull it tight. So I put my needle through the loop and just pull it tight then. And I will just weave in this end.